Janice, the Alexander County Veteran Service Officer, and I'm joined today by Lynn Norton, who is a veteran of the Korean conflict. Mr. Norton, would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, where you were born, where you grew up, and those kinds of things?
I grew up in Stony Point.
Mm-hmm.
My age is 79. Read that thing.
Now, where do you live now?
Stony Point.
Oh, okay. So do you live close to where you grew up?
Within a mile.
Very good. And you were in which service?
Navy.
In the Navy. And what made you decide to go to the Navy?
I was being drafted.
Okay.
And I was trying to stay out of Korea.
Uh-huh.
Then I went and joined the Navy.
Okay. Well, that'll work. Prior to your service, what was your occupation?
I was 17, I was a farmer.
Okay.
From 17 till I was drafted, I was a truck driver.
Okay. Were you married before you joined the service?
No.
That would have been a little too young to get married, huh? How long were you in the military?
I was in there 4 years active duty, then I was in there 8 years and 3 months active reserves.
Okay, so you actually had to go to your weekend meetings and that kind of stuff. What was the highest rank that you attained?
Radio in 3rd class.
Now explain to me what that is. I don't understand very good about the Navy rank.
A radioman is one that sits there behind a desk with a text message that comes in on Morse code.
Oh, okay. Where did you take your basic training?
San Diego, California.
Okay. And what bases were you stationed?
San Diego was the only one I was on.
Okay. So were you assigned to any ships or anything?
5 different ships.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about those.
First ship I went on was right after boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
And my first trip I went to the South Pacific for a hydrogen bomb test.
Okay.
That was my first trip.
Uh-huh.
And I was scared to death.
They broke you in right, didn't they? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, they kept us pretty well in the dark on it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We just done what we was told to do.
Right.
'Cause we seen it. We was furnishing supplies over there. And they was a big operation with Army, Navy, Air Force. And it took us several days to get prepared. And then when the B-52 bomber come over and dropped the hydrogen bomb in, and that's something I don't ever want to see again.
So you actually witnessed
Yes.
the after effects. So it's a lot of devastation.
We went back over there in '54.
Mm-hmm.
And the island just as dead as it could be. Everything burned off of it.
Wow. And what about your other ships? You said you were stationed on several?
Well, that ship there, we come back to the States, load the ammunition, went to Korea.
Mm-hmm.
And we stayed in Korea 3 months and got the ship unloaded. We had all sizes of ammunition, like from 10 millimeter, 20 millimeters, 40 millimeters, 60 millimeters, 1,000-pound bombs, 500-pound bombs, and 2,000-pound bombs. That's what we hauled.
Wow.
We unloaded them, then we went from there to Guam to reload.
Mm-hmm.
While we was there reloading, we got word that they'd cease fire. So we brought that load back to Port Chicago, San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
From there, I went to Alaska.
Okay.
They had several locations up there with the Air Force, and we serviced all of them.
Mm-hmm.
Then we came back, went to Japan. I can't tell you how many times. Went to Japan, and we unloaded and come back. Let's see what year that was. That was 53. Then we went back to Japan again with supplies. Then we come back to States. Then we went back to Alaska, 53, or 54 rather. And we worked up there for that month. Of course, you know, it's frozen most of the time up there.
Right. So did you at least get to see Alaska once when it was summertime and once when it was wintertime? Or was it all winter every time you went?
I'll get to that in a minute.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Then we come back to the States, decommissioned the ship.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one I was on. That's the first ship I was on.
Okay.
We decommissioned it, transferred me straight over to another water tender ship. We decommissioned it. So we got that decommissioned, and they sent me to Oakland, California. Went aboard a transport ship hauling troops back and forth. We'd go 2 days in Japan, 6 days States, 2 days in Japan, 6 days States, 2 days in Japan, 6 days States. I done that till 55. Then he took me off the ship and put me on a landing ship tank, going to Alaska again.
Okay.
This is when the early warning line was put in. District early warning line was put in. And we went to all them locations. That's when I went to the North Pole.
Okay.
And believe me, it was cold.
I
It
bet.
was snowing like everything. I didn't, yeah, I got that. But it was cold. We grounded the ship up there and knocked a hole in the bottom of it. About 30 compartments flooded. We got that sealed off. Then we was coming back out from up there. The Bering Straits, it's frozen in. Yeah, we sat 3 days, couldn't move this. And they come and brought 2 icebreakers in there and broke us out.
Thank goodness, huh?
Then we started off and hit another iceberg and caved the whole front of the ship in.
So y'all are having a demolition derby with this thing.
Well, we got back to Seattle, Washington. Then they took me off the ship again and put me on a flagship. It was Trans-Dip 12. Well, I went aboard that thing. Then we went to off of San Diego down there. We was doing maneuvers, you know, training maneuvers. We killed 59 people in maneuvers. The sea was rough and all that stuff. People drowned. We drowned it and killed. It's about 3 or 4 an airplane crashed on one of the ships and killed it.
Oh, mercy.
Yeah, we done that. Come back, state, and load up. Now this is January now, 56. To Alaska. We went to Alaska, off of the coast of Anchorage, Alaska, for maneuvers.
Right.
Well, we spent 6 weeks up in that cold weather. We had the Army with us. And we doing maneuvers and all this good stuff. Then we killed one out there and brought him back. And we got back to the States. I went to my Commodore. I said, yes, sir. I said, please give me a discharge. I said, 90 days convenience of the government. Sorry, Norton, we can't do that. I ain't got no radio man to replace you. So I didn't get off the ship. So we went to Honolulu. So
That was a little better than Alaska.
I was in Honolulu 7 times. We got to Honolulu. It was on Thursday. He called me up there at night and he said, no, I said, I decided I'm going to fly you backstage for discharge. What? I said, what in the world would a man do to me like that?
Mm-hmm.
So he said, you be over at Hickam Field at 8 o'clock Monday morning. Believe me, I was there.
Ready to go.
I sat there till 4 o'clock that afternoon and starved to death and had nothing to drink and nothing because I was afraid I was going to miss my flight. And all them rag planes coming in there, hauling out. I was dreading that trip back to California.
Mm-hmm.
4 o'clock, they called my number. I went to the gate out there and I looked out there and there was one of them 4-engine TWA sitting there. I said, man, I'm going home in style.
Mm-hmm.
So I went, got aboard ship and flew back to Sacramento, California at the air base. It took us 14 hours.
Wow.
I got off the plane. I had to make my own way to San Diego, which
Mm-hmm.
was almost 500 miles.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't have no money,
Mm-hmm.
so I paid the cab driver $5 to take me to the highway, and I hitchhiked from there to San Diego.
Bless your heart.
And I got in there, I checked in there, and he said, if you'd been here a day early, we'd got you out this week. He said, you'll have to wait another week to get discharged. I said, my luck. Thursday morning, he called me in his office. He said, Norton says, you go over and get you a physical just as fast as you can. He said, we're going to send you out of here tomorrow. Man, I done that thing. I got over there and got my physical and everything, got all checked out, all my shots and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Friday morning, the 27th day of April, 1956, I come out of the Navy.
And you remember that day well, don't you?
I sure do. That was the first day my son was born.
Well, very good.
He was born the 27th of 55, and I got discharged 27th of 56.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Did you make any friends while you were in the service?
Oh, I had a lot of friends, but when I left there, I left everything.
Mm-hmm. So you hadn't stayed in touch with any of them?
No, I've seen one of them. So after I come out, I started driving the truck.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I was running from Wilkesboro to Dawson Air Force Base in Greenville, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
I walked in there one morning, the commissary. I went in there, and the boy was on the same ship with me, coming the other side. He was salesman for Thomas and Howard.
Mm-hmm.
So we chatted there for about a half an hour. Went ahead and delivered my stuff and back home again.
Mm-hmm. What about superior officers? Do you remember any and why?
Well, we was going to Alaska one time. I don't know what his name is. I can't remember his name. I can't
Right.
remember none of his names except Kowinski. That was my company also when I went through training.
Uh-huh.
And we was going in Anchorage, but Adak, Alaska up there. And
Mm-hmm.
you had to have a pilot to get in there.
Right.
You got to have a man that knows the waters. They come out and get on the ship, and then they take the ship in. I got a message there that the pilot won't be there till 8 o'clock next morning. So I took the message up to the commanding officer. And he said, I didn't hear it, see that thing. I think the words he said, but I didn't see that thing. So he went on in there.
Mm-hmm.
He runs straight into that dock. I mean,
Oh, dear.
he didn't leave there with the ship either. They took him off the ship and put another captain on there.
Mm-hmm. Were you involved in any skirmishes or battles or anything like that? You said you lost a lot of men on that one trip. Was that just from the weather and the seas and that kind of stuff?
See, I was in the skirmish in Korea, but be on an ammunition ship, they kept us way back, from it.
Right, okay.
Because you don't want to blow us up.
Right, right. So you actually had the ship that carried the ammunition so that the war could continue?
Yeah.
Okay, okay. Were you assigned to any weapons?
All I had was 45.
Mm-hmm. So you mainly were the radar, sitting behind the radio kind of thing?
I was a radio, yeah.
Okay.
But now, like in Korea, though, we worked 12 hours a day.
Right.
Every day.
Not a lot of time for rest.
No, because when we wasn't standing on our watch, we was unloading ammunition.
Mm-hmm. What were the conditions like on the different ships that you were on?
Well, the size of them, for one thing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the first one on that I went and we talked with,
Mm-hmm.
it was somewhere in the neighborhood of 600, 700 feet long.
Okay.
Then that tanker was 500 some feet long. Then transport, it was, I think, 800 some feet. We carried 3,200 people on that ship.
Wow.
They had mess all day, 24 hours a day.
Was the food good?
No comment.
Okay.
all military, Navy personnel ate 3 meals a day, but the Army personnel aboard ship did not eat but 2 meals a day.
Now, why is that?
They didn't do nothing.
Oh, okay.
Plus, we didn't have enough to have.
Enough for everybody to do that. Were you in any hairy situations or close calls, you personally?
Not really. I was, only thing I was close about, I guess I was on an airplane one time on fire. We got it down. That's about the closest thing I did.
Now, where did that happen?
I was on a plane from San Diego to Oakland, California.
Mm-hmm.
We got aboard plane and plane caught fire. It's burning.
Oh, my goodness.
2-engine plane.
That's not good.
I didn't think it too good either.
But you made it because you're here talking to us, so that's a good thing.
Yep.
So, how did you handle being away from home and family?
Well, if you want the honest truth, one time I got pretty homesick.
Well, that's quite all right. I understand. Did you get letters, and did they send you care packages, or did you get to talk to them on the phone very much?
There wasn't no such thing as a phone.
Okay. Well, I just asked.
Well, no such thing as a phone back in them days.
Okay.
No, the only thing we had, it took us anywhere from we could go to Honolulu in 6 days.
Mm-hmm.
We could go to Japan in 13 days.
Mm-hmm.
Then the Philippines, then Korea was 18 days.
Mm-hmm.
I made 32 trips across that Pacific Ocean.
Wow.
When I got out first, I told the men, I said, the only thing I'm going to get in is a bathtub, and you better have a hole in it.
You was finished with the water for a while, huh?
Man, I got discharged, and I couldn't make ends meet for what I was getting for making. And see, I come home, $45 a week. Of course, I wasn't making but $39 a week in there.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to active duty on reserve time.
Okay.
Then I went to school 2 times in Charleston, and I went board ship 2 times. Then I went to Louisiana 1 time, and I went to Florida 1 time for school.
Mm-hmm.
So I decommissioned the ship, and I went to ship activation school in Florida.
So once you retired it, you had to go learn how to put one back in service, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Did faith play a part in helping you cope with things on a day-to-day basis?
Sure did.
And what did you do for fun or during your leave time?
No fun, no nowhere, I found out.
Okay.
Oh, we did play a little blackjack. I'd get into blackjack, and I won. We left Seattle, Washington, and we played blackjack all the way to Alaska. I won $8.
Wow.
We played blackjack coming back, now we lost $8.
Well, I guess that means you broke even, so that's a good thing.
That's about the only thing we had to do.
Was just play cards or
write letters. And see, you never got no mail whatsoever at the time you was aboard ship.
right.
From one place. See, they would fly your mail to, that's like if you was going to Japan. They would fly your mail to Japan, and they'd be waiting on you got there.
Oh, okay. Did you receive any awards or medals or commendations for your time in the service?
I got a good conduct medal.
Well, that's good.
I got 5, but I can't tell you all of them.
Okay.
I don't want to put this on the camera, though.
Okay.
I had a Korean Star medal with a star. Good conduct. And I had 5, and one of them was maritime and Pacific. And I can't think of it. Another one was a Navy thing. I had 5 different ones.
Okay, very good. Did you keep any parts of your uniform or any of your uniform at all? Can you still get in it?
Cut that thing off.
What's your occupation been since you left the service?
Okay. I drove a truck for 9 years. Then I went to Alexander County Water Corporation. I worked there 34 years. Retired at 65 at Alexander County Water Corporation. I went back to driving a truck, and I'm still driving a truck.
So you like driving a truck? Or it's a living?
It's a living.
Okay.
Except for last year, I ain't done nothing last year because I ain't been able.
Oh, okay. Was any of your family members or ancestors in the military?
None of my family. I had an uncle who was drafted, and I had a first cousin was in there. That's the only. Of course, my uncles, by marriage, some of them was in there.
Okay. Are you active in any of the local veteran service organizations?
None except the American Legion.
Okay. And what would you have to say to the youth today that were interested in the armed forces?
Let's go. Stay. That's the worst mistake I ever made coming out of there.
Do you have any other advice for the youth of today?
Work hard and do what they tell you, and study hard.
Okay. Well, Mr. Norton, I want to thank you so much for talking to us, and thank you for your service to our country.
I hadn't regretted it.
Very good. I'm glad. We are very thankful.
But that's been a long time ago. There's a lot of things I can't remember, though, because a lot of things I can remember. It's like that one ship up there run aground, hit, cut the bottom out of it, then we run out of the iceberg and busted the whole inside out. You could walk over the side and get the water.
That had to be scary.
And you look out off the ship, you'd be anchored over and look over there on the beach, and men and women, you couldn't tell what they were. It was Eskimos, you know. I was in North Pole in 55. July the 5th, 1955. It was snowing like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And it was snowing when I was in Korea. 'Cause I ain't gonna tell you the fun part we had off the ships.
Okay. Well, Mr. Norton, thank you so much for taking your time to talk to us. We appreciate this. Okay, Mr. Norton, I see you brought some pictures here. Just kind of tell us a little bit about what this one is.
This one right here on the ship was 1954. We was going to Alaska on it.
Mm-hmm.
And we was cutting up around, taking pictures of each other. It's one of them old Kodak cameras that goes back.
Right. Okay, and what about this one?
This was the one on 55 when I went to Arctic, North Pole right here.
Okay.
And we was coming back and we took that picture there.
So did everybody get a picture with the Royal Order of Blue Noses?
Yeah, they had that picture thing out there, then everybody pick it up and take a picture, so I don't know how many got it.
Okay. Very good. And you said this one is your favorite.
It's the scariest one, too.
Can you tell us a little bit about this?
That's the first trip I went out after boot camp.
Mm-hmm.
My first trip was South Pacific, which you says that's where the hydrogen bomb was set off. That's
Right.
All the hydrogen bomb was set off, and it's 10 times greater than the atom bomb was.
Really?
Yeah. And you couldn't even look at it. You had to have special glasses to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you were involved in that. That's a big thing.
That was one of the things that very few people ever see.
Right.
And it kind of scares you when you see it go off, then you feel the heat wave and the sound waves and all that. The heat wave was tremendously hot.
Mm-hmm.
Probably 150, 175 degrees when it hit us.
Wow.
We had a lot of radioactive material on the ship. We had to wash it all down. We washed it 3 times.
Mm-hmm. So did you have to wear any badges or anything to show if y'all were getting any of the radioactive particles?
They checked. They had Geiger counters. They checked everybody.
Oh, okay.
The only thing we lost over was potatoes.
Okay.
They threw all the potatoes overboard.
Uh-huh.
That's a 3-day. We got that 3 times a day. Till that time you get another then.
Uh-oh. That wasn't good. Well, very good. Thank you for bringing these and for sharing them with us.